So I think delegation is a really big and important part of owning multiple businesses and understanding that you can't do it all on your own. Finding the right people to go into those spaces is really, really, really important. And it doesn't happen straight away.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
How would you like to achieve your first million in sales? And today we are with the serial entrepreneur Billie from Australia, and she has over 8,000 followers. Yeah, fellow content creator, right? And a speaker, but also she managed with her husband several business service based. So Billie, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Okay, very good. So tell us a little bit more. Why you decided to become an entrepreneur? What happened?
I was actually, it's a very weird story. So
Tell
before I
us.
was an
We are dying to
entrepreneur,
hear about
yeah. Before I was
it.
an entrepreneur, I worked in quite high up roles as like a chief financial officer and a general manager of companies. And I always said I would never start my own business because I knew what it took to run a business, the commitment, the money, the risk, all of those things. So I was actually in America doing an 8-week tour in an RV, just driving around. We did 18 states in 8 weeks. And while I was over there, I saw just this desperation of like there was no hope. In Australia, there was a lot of hope. Over there just seemed like none. And we were actually in a timeshare, like we got roped into some timeshare thing, and it was like for free tickets or something like that in Vegas. And we went, and one of the questions they said were, who has their next holiday planned? And out of this whole room of people, we were the only people to raise our hands. And I was like, nobody holidays, like there's no real hope here. So then I started talking to people over there in America and asking, like, why don't you plan holidays, why don't you do this? And nobody really believed in themselves. So basically I started planning my own business in the back of an RV over an 8-week period. And when we got back to Australia, I quit my job and started my first business.
So tell us, what was this first business about planning holidays?
No, so the first business that I started was basically business coaching. It's just one-on-one coaching small business owners. I saw a lot of business owners closing their stores or not getting enough sales, and I knew that I could really help with the foundation building of that. That's what I'd built my corporate career in. So that's where I started. And then it slowly evolved from there. And I was doing all my own marketing, and people would say, can you help me with my marketing? And I'd say no, because I don't have enough time to do marketing. And I tried to collaborate with different agencies, but they weren't getting the results I was getting. And I always felt really bad. So slowly I started a marketing agency, and now it's a fully fledged agency. It has 5 of its own employees. Um,
Wow.
yeah, and then so there was that, and then we decided to start a handyman and electrical business in our local area. And then there was a cleaning business came up for sale, so we bought that. And then we realized that all of these businesses need scheduling, and we tried a variety of apps that we just weren't happy with. So then we went out and built our own.
Oh my God, very good. So, okay, let's talk about this because one thing is to have one business, right? Completely different stories to be a serial entrepreneur. I know
Yeah.
that for the first hand because I used to office here in UK landing services. So I started with the property business, right? And then I was asking to my clients, they were leaving the rooms and asking, why you leaving the room? I said, well, because I don't speak English very good. They were usually come from Europe. And that's why we live in the rooms. And because I want them to pay me for the room, I open an English school. Yeah. And then they stay longer in the room, but they still living and say, why you leaving? No, we know English now, but now we cannot find a job. So then I open a career advice for them. Yeah. And eventually I open a Spanish restaurant as well, so they can also eat their own food, right? So sometimes you can end up with the portfolio. I totally understand 100% why you guys acquired the cleaning company, because can be an upsell, is linked with the electrical business because it's service based and you can cross sales, and also marketing agency make more sense because every single business you do there needs marketing. So my question to you is how you can manage your time, and the most important thing, my biggest issue with that was diluting the brand, right? Because you open a business which is property, then you have another one. So it's now rather than building a brand, which is a big challenge. Now you're building 5 brands at the same time. So how are you dealing with that?
Yeah, I think, and I actually get this question a lot. And I don't manage all those businesses. I would be crazy to think that I could do it on my own. So I think delegation is a really big and important part of owning multiple businesses and understanding that you can't do it all on your own. Finding the right people to go into those spaces is really, really, really important. And it doesn't happen straight away. So in the cleaning business, for example, we are onto our fourth business manager in 12 months because it was so important to find the right person for that fit. Now, that business manager's been in for 6 months, and I think she'll be there forever now. But it was always about finding the right person that has the right drive for that business. And every single business is different. It has different needs and desires and goals, but they need to be as invested as you are. And it's not always a financial thing. A lot of the time people come to me and say, but I can't afford to put in a business manager. I can't afford that type of salary or what they're looking for. And it's really interesting because the woman that is the business manager in the cleaning business, she is actually from the UK and she is an ex-contracts lawyer from Tesco. Now, you
Wow.
can imagine, the salary that she would have been on over there, right? And then she's come to work for us because it means that she can work from home. She has 3 young children. If her children are sick, they can be home with her. There's no pressure. I don't mind if she works morning, nights, whatever she needs to do to get the job done. So it's about creating the environment for the employee rather than creating this position that they need to fit, and finding the person that's going to really drive forward. And for us, it was important to have a contracts lawyer in that position because we're looking into franchising. So that's going to involve a lot of contract law in the coming years. So having her there from the beginning, really driving it. And it's important for them that they can see growth as well in a mum and dad business, right? You need to be able to show them that it is going to grow and evolve and you will be eventually paid more and you likelier to be the CEO once your children have graduated school and things like that. So it's about painting the picture for them as well and really keeping them involved.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.